An Australian union has demanded that Uber and Airbnb people pay their fair taxes. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and one of the questions that I actually get the most is, Kevin, how does doing Uber, Lyft, Postmates, and Airbnb affect my taxes? And it's actually pretty simple and yet pretty complicated at the same time. It affects your taxes in a couple ways. First of all, you are not taxed on anything that you earn. And so when it comes time to reporting that income, which you do have to report, doesn't matter how little you made, it doesn't matter how much you made, although they definitely want you to report it if you made a lot more than $100, that's for certain. You will have to pay taxes on that money. That's the bad news. So when you first put it in, you have like this huge amount of money that you end up owing the government. But the good news is there's also a lot of deductibles, from the mileage to the repairs to amenities to, heck, even like the water that you put. If you put water and candy and stuff in your Uber vehicle, that is all tax deductible. Same thing with Airbnb, like anything that you buy specifically for a house or let's say a house or an apartment or something that you plan to Airbnb, any of the things that you buy for that business, you can write it off. Now, admittingly, that's how it works in America. And the story that we're talking about is in Australia. But here's the thing. I have definitely learned that if something happens overseas, it's usually not too long before the debate comes home. So let's look at this article from The Guardian and look at what exactly we're dealing with. And it says here, the Transport Workers Union of Australia has condemned the federal government's plan to crack down on Uber drivers and Airbnb hosts who avoid paying taxes. To avoid paying tax. That's interesting. It has been suggested that I read the articles before I make the videos. Might be a good reason why. Let's see where this goes. But I sometimes like the natural reaction. On Wednesday, Treasury released an industry discussion paper on plans for a mandatory regime to ensure people working in the sharing economy pay their fair share of tax. Majority industry players, including Uber, Airbnb, Airtasker, I've never heard of that. Nice to know that they have an extra. And delivery services such as Deliveroo and Uber Eats. I have heard of Deliveroo. But the reforms target people who work in the sector rather than the platforms themselves, many of which have overseas, domiciles. Quote, we have heard nothing from the federal government on the wide-scale wage theft and non-payment of super by the likes of Uber, Deliveroo, and others, said Tony Shelton, TWU's co-coordinator and the on-demand economy, in a statement. We have not seen any plans to regulate the on-demand economy to protect workers. Yet today we hear how the government plans to catch these underpaid workers. That pretty much sums up how the government views working people and whose side they are on. Oh, for Pete's sakes, dude, if they're not paying taxes, they're not paying taxes. You got to pay your taxes. I don't like paying taxes. I don't think anyone likes paying taxes, but, you got to pay them. That's how it is. The Assistant Minister for Treasury, I don't know how to pronounce that, says the sharing economy has seen significant growth in Australia. Quote, but as it grows, there's a risk that some individuals are not reporting their full income and avoid the right amount of tax, Zed said in a statement. We are committed to making sure people pay their fair share of tax. No, that seems very reasonable. You need to pay your tax. But the TWU said it was more urgent to address gig economy workers' rights to minimum pay, superannuation, and sick leave. Quote, they also need to collective bargaining so they can challenge these powerful multinationals, Sheldon added. The consultation paper is available on the Treasury website and submissions close on the 22nd of February. So this is definitely a little different than what I thought it was going to be. So as far as I can tell what this is about, essentially the government is going to actually start putting things in place to ensure that people who work in the gig economy pay their taxes, which is good. But the Transport Workers Union is opposing this because they think this is not the first thing that should be focused on. They think, hey, you know what? These workers, they usually don't make minimum wage. They don't get sick leave. Maybe we should talk about those rights before we talk about taxes. And here's the sad reality of the world and the government. The government will take a meeting over taxes, like how do they collect taxes, before they talk about the rights of the workers. That's just simply how they're going to do it. Even when they want to lower taxes, guess what? There's a clause in there that they can collect a little bit more from a certain amount of people. That's where the phrase, the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer, because usually the rich benefits from a tax break. So I understand a little bit where the Transport Workers Union of Australia are coming from, because they think that there are some issues, some really serious issues that need to be addressed, and they haven't been addressed yet. And they feel that by going after people who pay taxes, that is delaying discussing the issues that they feel are more important. I think those are important issues to discuss. However, again, I think they need to pay taxes. That's one of the things they need to do. They need to pay their taxes. Take a shot. Someone's probably going to make like a video of a counter like, take a shot every time he says they need to pay their taxes. So they need to pay their taxes. They need to pay their taxes. Holy cow. Let's just take a shot. They need to take their taxes. There's nothing in there. I felt a little goofy. I don't know why. So that's talk about there being a non-story in that whole thing. Really. But, well, yeah, now you know what's happening. You know that this debate is going on. So, apparently, if you're in Australia, there might be a new way in how you report your taxes. If you are in Australia and you're not paying them, I guess the government is officially looking for a way that you can no longer get away with that. Which, again, it's fine because you need to pay your taxes. So, you know. But anyway, that's where we're going to leave that story. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. But what about you guys? Do you agree with the Transport Workers Union of Australia? Do you agree with their government? Or do you disagree? I would love to know. So, comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even those $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my exclusive Patrons-only blog. And as always, blame responsibly. Have a good one.